Hello friends, this is Jayachandra. Today I'm going to explain you the fifth experiment of a case tools lab. The fifth experiment of a case tools lab is drawing the state chart diagram for the given application. My application is about drawing the game designing. For game designing, I need to draw the state chart application. So basically the state chart diagram is the graph in which a state chart diagram is basically a graph in which the nodes correspond to the states and the directions, that is the directions between one state to another state correspond to the transactions between one state to another. The purpose of the state chart diagram is to give an abstract description based on the behavior of the states. So according to my application, the state chart diagram for the game designing is over here. So first in the state chart diagram we need to give an initial state, and after completing everything we need to give the final state. So this is an initial state over here and this is the final state over here. So first initial state has been initialized, and after that for game designing, game architect is important, and then the primary things are game architect and the designer. The game architect game architect will give a game plan to the designer in order to design the game in such a manner. After completing the game plan, the designer part has to be done. The designer has to design based on the architect what the architect has been given. So it will the game designer will design and ask for the testing team in order to rectify the errors. If there is game errors, they'll ask for game. If there is game errors, they'll ask for game redesign, and if there are no errors, they ask for game graphics. After the redesign also, if there is any errors, if there are no errors, they'll directly go to the game graphics. So after the game graphics is set complete, the game confirmation has to be done. The game confirmation has to be done along with the designer and as well as the testing team. So if the game confirmation is done after the graphics, it is directly going to testing team. So the testing team asks for the feedbacks. So the feedbacks has to be initialized as game drawbacks, and the total number of options has to be recognized. So if there is no feedbacks, they'll directly go to the total number of options that has to be recognized, and they'll ask for, after feedbacks has been recognized and game options has been set, they'll directly go to the game for approval. The approval has to be done for the game by the game company. So the game company asks for the approval. So after the game has been released, so the game approval and after the game is approved and the game has to be released. So the player is introduced now after the release has been set. So after the game is released, the player will give the feedback to the game approval company. So that's all. After the designing, it will go to final state. That's all for the fifth experiment. Thank you.